What's up, everybody? Don't forget to subscribe to the World's TV YouTube channel so you don't miss out on any of this great content moving forward. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video of World's TV. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video out to everybody. So today we got a excellent video, and boy, do I mean excellent. We got a fantastic one to talk about. So today, excuse me, reported by Shams, he tweeted this: in a meeting with Nets owner Joe Tsai, Kevin Durant reiterated his trade request and informed Tsai that Tsai needs to choose between Durant or the pairing of general manager Sean Marks and head coach Steve Nash, sources say. Excuse me. And now pretty much Joe Tsai responded back after this report was surfaced in a tweet of his own Twitter account saying, "Our front office and coaching staff have my support. We will make decisions in the best interest of the Brooklyn Nets." So here are my thoughts about this whole thing. Excuse me. Damn, I'm coughing like crazy. Here are my thoughts about this whole thing. Kevin Durant is sick and tired of everything within the Brooklyn Nets organization. He is sick and tired of everything within the Brooklyn Nets organization. Now, this may shed some light to why James Harden decided to ask for a trade. There's been reports and rumors that have been circulating that James Harden did not like the style of offense that head coach Steve Nash was running. It was first reported that Steve Nash wanted a Golden State Warrior type offense where the ball is moving, it's free flowing, while James Harden wanted an isolation ball dominated offense. Now it looks like that was completely false, because you looked at the Brooklyn Nets, how they played after James Harden was traded to Philly. You look at their offensive play calls, there was none. The main point, the main issue that we saw when Brooklyn was playing basketball is one-on-one isolation. They had no play calls, nothing called, no set offenses, no screen, no pin downs, none of that. It was Kevin Durant isolation basketball. Can you get us a bucket? Kyrie Irving ISO one-on-one basketball. Can you get us a bucket? They had no set plays to get the other players on the team open shots. And that was clear as evident when they got swept by the Boston Celtics in the first round of the NBA playoffs. I've always said this: Steve Nash is not a good head coach. Now, it's not his fault. He doesn't have experience coaching at the NBA level. He was a very, very great NBA player. Two-time MVP, accolades is Hall of Fame bound. But as a coach, he has nothing to show for it. He doesn't have no play calls. He doesn't manage his timeouts well. He panics. He has no defensive prowess to him. If you look at the Nets this past offseason, again, as I mentioned, it was KD, Kyrie, isolation basketball. Their defense was atrocious. They would be giving up to about 120 to 130, sometimes 140 points a night. When it was the play-in tournament, when it was the play-in game, they had to play, I believe they was playing the Cleveland Cavaliers. They were up by almost double digits on the Cavs at home with Kyrie Irving playing. And they almost blew that game to the Cleveland Cavaliers. And they were not 100% healthy. So they almost blew that game. So you're just like, hold on. This is the team that everybody has been talking about that's going to be the most dangerous 8 seed that we ever seen in our lifetime. They got KD, they got Kyrie. There's anticipation of Ben Simmons coming back and playing. And all of a sudden, they can't stop anybody. They can't defend, and they can't get consistent open shots. That's on Steve Nash. That is on coaching. When your offense is so one-dimensional, it's easier to double team players. It's easier to figure out what you're gonna do. Hey, listen, they're gonna put the ball in those two players' hands. All we gotta do is just shut them down, let everybody else beat us, Most of the time they won't beat us, and we walk away with a W. That was their game plan. And now going back to Sean Marks, I believe Sean Marks should also be fired. Sean Marks, one of the decisions I did like Sean Marks did in the offseason was he let go of Bruce Brown. Bruce Brown was arguably the third best player on the Brooklyn Nets this past season. He was their third best player this past season. Now, a lot of people were speculating he was going to get a good amount of money in the off season, maybe somewhere between $8, $9, $10 million range. He signed with the Denver Nuggets on like a 2-year, $13 million deal. So I'm like, hold on. If Denver gave him that money, they saw what he was doing last year. Why didn't the Nets give him that same type of contract? So it goes to show you that Sean Marks just said, we're just going to let you walk away. And even Bruce Brown said it on his Instagram Live that, the Nets didn't even offer me a contract. So I was like, all right, I'm going to go play somewhere else. You're not going to give me a deal. I was doing what I had to do to play basketball on a consecutive level, on a consistent level. Y'all didn't see my value. Y'all didn't think it was worth me keeping by. They also let go of Andre Drummond, which I thought was a mistake because even though he didn't have really much of an offensive game to him, he was a shot blocker. He was a force down in the paint. He will get you double in rebounds. They let both of those two key assets go. And I believe we all know the Brooklyn Nets is a very, very small, thin team. So you let go of a big body like that. Now, granted, maybe they weren't able to space the floor with him, but he was their only defensive presence throughout that whole entire series. When Andre Drummond was out, you would have point guards and perimeter players just getting into the paint, scoring over 6'11", 120-pound Nick Claxton. And they just let go of a big body that they got in a trade for James Harden, which a lot of people are saying, well, the Brooklyn Nets won. It looks like both teams lost, but that's besides the point. And I've said this before too. So the Nets have no clear front office leadership. After the season was over, I said this was the biggest mistake that the Brooklyn Nets as a front office management did. You have the general manager, Sean Marks, call for a press conference and pretty much subliminally call out Kyrie Irving. What in the hell makes you think that will be okay? Basically saying, well, we need availability from everybody, not just Kyrie. First of all, we all knew who that message was about. You were only singling Kyrie Irving. You didn't single everybody else's name. The only name that you pointed out was Kyrie Irving. So clearly that message was directed to Kyrie Irving. Why do you feel the need to go out and publicly do that? You could have that conversation behind closed doors with them. Like, yo, listen, Kyrie. We understand what happened this past year with the whole vaccine thing. As stupid as it was, we're now past that. We gonna need full availability from you next season. We want you to be in that long term, but you got to show us some commitment. Okay, you can't be calling out 2 weeks, going on sabbatical another 2 weeks, and then we see you partying with your family, and then, the NBA, violating the NBA's health and safety protocols, even though that was stupid, but nonetheless, they had rules that they had to follow so they won't get fined. Kyrie, we need you to play consistently. You could have had that conversation with him behind closed doors since you guys have a good relationship with him. But clearly they didn't. They felt, well, you know what? Let's go call Kyrie Irving out in front of everybody. And let's send a message out there to the world that we are not taking this shit no more. And it came back and bit your ass. Because not only Kyrie Irving's reports that Kyrie Irving has his eyes set on joining the Lakers after his contract expires at the end of the season, but Katie said, get me the hell up on out of here. The Brooklyn Nets are about to be the first team in NBA history to lose 3 franchise caliber players in the span of a calendar year. Can you imagine how of an epic embarrassment that would be? You mean to tell me you have 3 superstar players on your team, 2 of them are former MVPs, 1 has a good potential to be a league MVP, and you let go of every single one of them? All of them left your team? At this point, we're looking at there is something wrong in the front office. That is like you have friends, and every single person that used to be your friend stopped talking to you. You had about 20, 25 friends. And we asked those 20, 25 individuals, why did you stop talking to this person? Well, they're good. And they mostly say the same thing about you, that you were bad, you were inconsistent, you were a liar, you were this and that, a whole bunch of negatives about you. Then the common denominator is you. It is not them. It's you, especially if they're all saying the same exact things. You got to look yourself in the mirror. The Brooklyn Nets, you guys got to look yourself in the mirror. This is on you. You are about to be the first team in NBA history to lose 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 superstar franchise players that were on your team. At one time, the Brooklyn Nets were seen as the most dynamic offensive firepower that we have ever seen before, with those 3 guys on one team. And then in the span of a year, all of a sudden it could just go away and disappear just like that. Because that's what happens when you have a bad front office. That's what happens when you have an incompetent owner. Especially after that report came out, you decide to tweet this saying, our front office and coaching staff have my support. We will make decisions in the best interest of the Brooklyn Nets. Now I get it. People are going to say, well, hold on, Worlds, you can't have players running the organization. Where the hell have you been? Players have been running the organization since the NBA for about last 20 plus years now. Okay, you didn't think Michael Jordan ran the Bulls, and guess what? When Michael Jordan didn't have power over the Chicago Bulls in the last three-peat, guess what happened? He said, okay, I'm up out of here. Phil Jackson left. Scottie Pippen was like, bye. They were a dumpster fire after that, after the last championship. Look at LeBron James in Cleveland. His first go around, LeBron was like, okay, I feel like you guys are not going to give me the best players to put me in the best position to win a championship. I'm up out of here. Guess what happened to the Cleveland Cavaliers? They were picking first in the NBA draft lottery every single year since he left. Miami Heat, when he went down to Miami, they won 2 championships. Now maybe the time was just there. He already had his plans to go back. But look what happened with Pat Riley. He called out LeBron James saying, you gonna run or you gonna stay with the ship and fight? He said, I'm gonna run. You gonna call me out like that? Kiss my ass. Bounces to Cleveland, wins a championship. Now Miami was still relevant, but after LeBron left, their relevance went down. When LeBron James goes back to Cleveland, wins the championship. You didn't think he was running that organization? You didn't think that they were asking him and asking for his input? Hey, what do you think about this trade? What do you think about this coach? You know, blah, blah. Because at the end of the day, your main attraction is your superstar player. That is for a fact. Nobody is going to these NBA games to watch the referees coach. To watch the referees ref. Nobody's going to NBA games to watch the coaches. Nobody's going to these NBA games to watch, the moppers mop the floor. They're going to see the main attraction, the franchise caliber players. They're going to see Steph Curry. They're going to see Kevin Durant. They're going to see LeBron James. They are going to see the Joel Embiid. They are going to see the James Harden. They are going to see the big name players. That is what sells. And if you do not acquiesce and make your all-star player happy, then guess what? They're going to be unhappy and they're going to demand a trade. Now, I do believe that, there has to be a little bit more power given back to the owners, despite the fact that they could just trade players left and right after they give them extension. But I believe that the player mobility just needs to be taken out a notch. I'm all for the player mobility. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy that players have a say in where they want to go. They should have a say where they want to go, because without them, there would be no billionaire owners. But when the next collective bargaining agreement comes, these NBA owners are going to have a little bit of a truth on their side. They're going to say, listen, we having these players bounce teams. We gave James Harden say he didn't want to play in Houston no more, so we traded him to Brooklyn. That's what he said he wanted to play. Cool. Then he quit on Brooklyn. Then it was like, all right, then we're going to trade you to Philly. He got his wish. Ben Simmons, I don't want to be in Philly no more even though I just received a max contract extension with the team. Get me to Brooklyn. Get me up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Now Kevin Durant with this. Kevin Durant just signed a 4-year extension. He's like, this ain't what I really signed for. Get me up out of here. So So it's like I'm in favor of these players doing that, because you can't, owners and GMs, they lie to players all the time. They trade players left and right. They admit they signed to extension, but guess what? They'll trade you next season or during the season right after you got your extension. So it's a business. When teams trade players, it's a business. It's okay for them to do, but when players decide to take that into their own hands, oh, it's a problem. We can't have this. Blah 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 blah. So, but this is gonna get messy before it gets better. You're gonna have Joe Tsai saying, you know what, I'm putting my foot down. Kevin Durant is like, listen, you either trade me or you fire them. And guess what? Nobody is going to fill up the Barclays Center to watch Steve Nash coach, who can't coach a lick, and watch Sean Marks continuously do stupid moves for the Brooklyn Nets. They came to the Barclays Center to watch number 7 and number 11 play basketball. And if you trade number 7 and then you lose number 11 at the end of this year, you guys will be relegated like the Sacramento Kings. Nobody's going to go to the Barclays Center. The Brooklyn Nets are going to be like the 3rd, 4th known team in New York. In New York, nobody's gonna go to Barclays Center no more. They'll probably just go to just to see the celebrities and just for the food. But after that, ain't no real basketball fans will be going to the Barclays Center if they trade Kevin Durant and they let go of Kyrie Irving. It's a players-driven league that is point blank simple. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Don't forget to comment down below, like and subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you guys later. World TV signing out. Everybody stay safe. Peace.